Good day everyone. In this video, we talk about what is joint tax assessment and separate tax assessment and related calculation. For married individuals, income tax assessment system allows assessment to be done based on either one of the following assessment: joint tax assessment or separate tax assessment. For joint tax assessment viewed by husband, wife income is aggregate with husbands when filing tax assessment. If tax assessment viewed by wife, husband income is aggregate with wife when filing tax assessment. Separate tax assessment, husband and wife each file their own tax assessment. In general, if both husband and wife have separate income, joint tax assessment may reduce the total amount of tax relief. This is because most of the tax relief have a claim limit, irrespective of whether it is separate or joint tax assessment. This will cause the tax payment to increase dramatically. Terms for filing joint tax assessment: 1. Husband and wife must live together. 2. Has total income to be aggregate with the total income of the spouse. 3. The husband or wife who elects for the joint tax assessment must be a Malaysian citizen, if not a resident in Malaysia. 4. Can only be done with one wife. In joint tax assessment, the claimable tax relief is considered for calculation only once. For example, Mr. John and his wife received annual salary of 52,000 ringgit and 59,000 ringgit respectively in 2020. They each donate 600 ringgit to a government-approved welfare organization in that year. The following are the tax reliefs to be claimed by Mr. John and his wife. A. Calculate the total income tax of Mr. John and his wife by using joint tax assessment and separate tax assessment. The table below shows the calculation of income tax for Mr. John and his wife using joint tax assessment and separate tax assessment. Based on the above information, for joint tax assessment, Mr. John and his wife received annual salary of 52,000 ringgit and 59,000 ringgit respectively. Their total income is 52,000 ringgit plus 59,000 ringgit equals to 111,000 ringgit. They each donate 600 ringgit to a government-approved welfare organization. The tax exemption amounting to 1,200 ringgit. In joint tax assessment, the claimable tax relief is considered for calculation only once and subjected to certain limits in amount. There are 9,000 ringgit for individual, 2,500 ringgit for lifestyle, 7,000 ringgit for life insurance, 3,000 ringgit for medical insurance, and 250 for SOCSO. Mr. John received annual salary of 52,000 ringgit. The total income for Mr. John is 52,000 ringgit. He had donated 600 ringgit to a government-approved welfare organization. Tax exemption is amounting to 600 ringgit. All the tax relief items of Mr. John are below the subjected limit in amount. Therefore, there are 9,000 ringgit for individual, 2,500 ringgit for lifestyle, 5,700 ringgit for life insurance, 2,100 ringgit for medical insurance, and 120 ringgit for SOCSO. His wife received annual salary of 59,000 ringgit. The total income for his wife is 59,000 ringgit. She has donated 600 ringgit to a government-approved welfare organization too. Tax exemption is amounting to 600 ringgit. The tax relief items of his wife are 9,000 ringgit for individual, 2,500 ringgit for lifestyle. This tax relief is eligible to be claimed is 2,500 ringgit despite spending 2,970 ringgit. 6,460 ringgit for life insurance, 3,000 for medical insurance, Tax relief for medical insurance is eligible to be claimed is 3,000 ringgit despite spending 3,200 ringgit and 180 ringgit for Sakso. Now, calculate the chargeable income of joint tax assessment. That is the total annual income of Mr. and Mrs. John, deduct the tax exemption and deduct the tax relief. 111,000 minus 1,200 minus 9,000 minus 2,500 minus 7,000 minus 3,000 minus 250 equals to 88,050 ringgit. The chargeable income of joint tax assessment is 88,050 ringgit. The chargeable income of husband, that is the total annual income of Mr. John, deduct the tax exemption and deduct the tax relief. 52,000 minus 600 minus 9,000 minus 2,500 minus 5,700 minus 2,100 minus 120 equals to the 1,980 ringgit. The chargeable income of husband is 31,980 ringgit. The chargeable income of wife, that is the total annual income of Mrs. John, deduct the tax exemption and deducts the tax relief. 59,000 minus 600 minus 9,000 minus 2,500 minus 6,460 minus 3,000 minus 180 equals to 37,260 ringgit. The chargeable income of wife is 37,260 ringgit. Then, list down the base tax and calculate the tax on next balance. For the joint tax assessment, the chargeable income of husband and wife is 88,050 ringgit. Refer to the income tax rate. 88,050 ringgit is in the category 70,001 to 100,000. Base tax is the tax on the first 70,000 of the chargeable income, 4,600 ringgit, and 21% to be charged on the next balance. That is 88,050 minus 70,000 times 21%. Tax on the next balance for the joint tax assessment is 3,790.3 ringgit. For surplus tax assessment, the chargeable income of husband is 31,980 ringgit. Refer to the income tax rate. 31,980 ringgit is in the category 20,001 to 35,000. Base tax is the tax on the first 20,000 of the chargeable income, 150 ringgit, and 3% to be charged on the next balance. That is 31,980 minus 20,000 times 3%. Tax on the next balance is 359.4 ringgit. The chargeable income of wife is 37,260 ringgit. Refer to the income tax rate. 37,260 ringgit is in the category 35,001 to 50,000. Base tax is the tax on the first 35,000 of the chargeable income, 600 ringgit, and 8% to be charged on the next balance. That is 37,260 minus 35,000 times 8%. Tax on the next balance is 180.8 ringgit. What is the tax rebate? There are two types of tax rebate. 1. Tax rebate of 400 ringgit will be given to taxpayer if the chargeable income does not exceed 35,000 ringgit, subject to change. Second, the amount of zakat or fitrah paid by Muslim citizen. Due to the chargeable income of Mr. John does not exceed 35,000, he has a tax rebate of 400 ringgit. The chargeable income of joint tax assessment and the chargeable income of his wife are not fulfill the condition of tax rebate. Zero tax rebate for joint tax assessment and zero tax rebate for his wife tax assessment. The payable income tax of husband and wife is base tax plus tax on next balance minus tax rebate. 4,600 plus 3,790.3 minus 0 equals to 8,390.3 ringgit. The payable income tax of husband is 150 plus 359.4 minus 400 equals to 109.4 ringgit. The payable income tax of wife is 600 plus 180.8 minus 0 equals to 780.8 ringgit. The total payable income tax for separate tax assessment is 109.4 plus 780.8 equals to 890.2 ringgit. E. Between joint tax assessment and the separate tax assessment, which is more suitable to be used by Mr. John and his wife? Explain your answer. Separate tax assessment is more suitable to be used by Mr. John and his wife because income tax payable is far lower, which is 908.2 ringgit as compared to 8,390.3 ringgit for joint tax assessment. That's all for this video. Thanks and see you.